Hello, everyone. My name is Pablo, and today we're going to be looking at the Giving Trees adaptation storyboards. Now, I've explained this before, but in case you don't know, my original desktop that had the Giving Tree adaptations footage, yeah, that got physically damaged a long time ago in like January, and I'm pretty sure I know what caused it now. But, unfortunately, at the time, it was kind of like a catalyst for a bunch of unfortunate events. Because my Windows was so one of the main components, like physical components, got so corrupted that my Windows couldn't even like rebuild itself. So it was unfortunate, and um, and it ended up having this version lost, and now we only really got the storyboards. So yeah. Come, boy, let me protect you from the winds. There, let us help you. And the tree was happy. Okay, so one thing is it's kind of hard to really grasp how unique this film was, and that you saw the claymation, but it wasn't just a claymated film. It was also I don't know why I'm calling that film, but it was also like a hybrid of so many different art styles. It was claymation, it had paper puppets, it had dioramas as the backgrounds, and it worked, it looked really, really good. But as you can imagine, it was also quite a technical nightmare to get all three of them to look really good. The claymation part was was more easier, but also trying to have these paper puppets to fit into the diorama sets was the biggest challenge more than anything because, and I'm ashamed to admit this, but a large portion of the stop motion, quote unquote, also didn't unfortunately come from blue screens, which was probably my biggest regret. I don't really feel like I over relied on blue screens, but that also meant that the characters couldn't like physically cast a shadow because they're not actually on the dioramas, and the static grass looked very untouched with the characters. So that was a huge technical nightmare to try and alleviate, and it didn't even like fully alleviate it, but it did help in some ways. So that side profile scene was actually fully completed.
Play, Chief.
Meanwhile, this fun
Yes,
shot
my boy.
was the only thing that
La
was
la
saved.
la 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 la. I am the king of the forest. Can I have some leaves, boy? Hmm.
And just to kind of avoid constantly repeating myself, just kind of assume that everything you're seeing here has been fully completed and animated, and is a lot longer because that's kind of the case. All these scenes were kind of like very few exceptions were not completed or were shorter than the storyboards are. Just because I'm not repeating myself. Just keep that in mind.
Sure. Don't forget to say thank you, dear. Hi there, boy. I bet you can't catch me. You can't catch me. You can't catch me. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Oh man,
La la la. Flightless little bugger. Got you. Flippin' heck. That's my boy.
that's my boy.
Go on, boy. Have some apples.
Did you see that? If you look really closely at that blue screen that I mean, at that last scene I showed you, you can see why it was such a technical nightmare to combine all three of these mediums together because when the boy's hanging off the tree branch, because of the blue screen and because the clay is a bit more on the glossy side, you can see that it's also kind of like taking a little chunk out the tree, and that's the problem with just doing that.
I love apples. Can I have some too, boy? Hmm. You can have half of one. Yay! Bunny, what do we always say? Thank you, boy. One, two, three. Ready or not, here I come. Hmm. Well, could you be? Oh,
Mhm.
there you are. Alright, let's call it a tie.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna point this out. I also do have like demo tracks that were recorded for me from a very long time ago. And the main reason why I used them is because, since it was only storyboards, I didn't really feel like scouring the internet for copyright free songs. So, yeah, keep that in mind. And now let's address a kind of a big elephant in the room, the voice acting. Yes, I am very much aware that I am not a very talented voice actor, and I definitely did try to find people who were interested in voice acting, but unfortunately, I just couldn't really. And so I said to myself, like, "Oh, what what would be the hurt in trying to do so?" Unfortunately, you may have noticed that my accent is a very unique one, and that's kind of the problem. And when you have such a unique accent, trying to play a wide variety of different characters can make them all just sound like the same person, who's just putting on the voice. Like, you get the Chew who sounds very soft. You get the boy who sounds just like me, and you get the D. I mean, and you get the bird that sounds like this, and you get the D. You see the problem. Like I think, and then you can tell that I was really low on voices because I gave the bunny out of all characters the deep voice. One, because I thought it'd be really comedic, but two, because it was the only voice I could really do that didn't sound too similar.
You still have us, Tree. Thank you, dear.
Oh, I love that scene. I really wish you guys got to see that one. Yeah, yeah, see that? You can tell that they're on a blue
You're
screen.
back.
Not because like there is a physical blue screen, but because you could tell that these
Oh,
characters are like
hello, Tree.
they're
Boy, I
digitally
can't believe it.
animated to a certain degree,
Come, boy.
which is kind of
Climb on my
sad,
trunk
honestly,
and swing on my
and
branches.
definitely big.
I'm too big to climb and
It's just like
play.
it
I
definitely
want to buy things and have
hit
fun. I
because the
want some
stop
money.
motion kind of
Can
took a
you give me some
backseat to
money?
this digital
I'm
puppetry,
sorry, boy, but I
which is
have
sad.
no money. I only have leaves and apples. But take my apples and sell them in the city.
And okay, I know it kind of sounds bad that I kind of advertised it as a stop motion film, but okay, yeah, it is bad. I'm not gonna lie, but to give you a sense as to how small the puppets were, I want you to find a dime, like a US dime, and that's how small the heads were for these puppets, or maybe even a nickel. Probably though not as though very small. Probably the biggest variations of them were like a quarter size, which is still way too small to do any practical puppetry with.
Then you will have money and be happy.
But I
But
did try my
tree,
best
I
to
love your
utilize
apples.
stop
Where will
motion.
I get them? Oh, bunny, they'll grow back. You have the whole forest to find other apples and fruits.
Oh, that scene! I also really like that scene.
Whoops. Good luck, my boy. Oi, come on, boy. Try and catch me. What?
And another thing, you may have noticed that the bird says what, even though in the dialogue section it doesn't say that. That's because, as many of you might have noticed, or as many of you might know, because stated this previously, I do not write scripts. All my stories begin as storyboards, and then when I finally do write them into scripts, and that's when they get revised with different dialogues. A lot of this dialogue actually was not even into the final product. So yeah, that's a bit of an explanation.
Come, boy. Climb on my trunk and swing from my branches. I'm too busy to climb trees. I want a house to keep me warm. I want a wife and children, so I need a house. Can you give me a house? I'm sorry, I have no home. The forest is my home. But you may cut off my branches and build a house, then you'll be happy. What? Tree, don't. Where will I get my branches for my nest? Where can I place my nest? Easy now, my chickadee. You'll find another branch and tree. You grew up in this forest. You have all the opportunities of freedom. Do not return, boy. Hmm. Come on, dear. Come, boy. Come and play. I'm too old and sad to play. Life is not
I'll
fun.
give myself
I want
credit.
a
I
boat
do a pretty
that will
good
take me
old man
far
voice.
away.
I'm just
Can
joking.
you give me a boat? Cut, cut my chunk and make a boat, then sail away and be happy. Stop! I told you not to come back. Please, tree. I need you. I I love you. Oh, my beloved dear. Life in the city is so cruel. Please, you have the freedom of the forest. Please, don't worry, dear. I'll be okay.
Okay, I feel like I need to explain the whole tree. I mean, I feel like I need to explain the whole freedom of the force type of deal. So you may have noticed that's a recurring theme, as well as the woodland critters being the new addition to this adaptation. So why did I choose to do an adaptation of the Green Tree? It's probably like the most that it's definitely the sorry. Okay, the main reason why I decided to do a adaptation of the Giving Tree was because there was a certain life circumstance that happened to me. Well, my mother was giving away so much um money to someone in our family who was not born in the US. And me and my mother have had a very complicated relationship. But sometimes to me it felt like it always ended up being like sometimes I felt like she always downplayed my issues because I was born in the US in comparison to this other family member who wasn't. And like you're lucky to be born here, even though, let's face it, the US isn't exactly the dream place at the current moment. Yeah, but it really did like start to become such an annoying thing to hear, like, oh, but at least you were born here. I'm thankful to be born here, but let's not use it to diminish, the unfortunate situation we're in. We're in a cost of living crisis. And that's saying something. You know, this place isn't as free as maybe some people might have hoped it would be. That's probably going to be my most hot take. Actually, it's not going to be a hot take. I feel like anyone with a brain should be able to realize there is a cost of living crisis. I never finished this demo. That's because I'm not really good at writing songs. I'm sorry, boy. I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone. My teeth are too weak for apples. My branches are gone. You can't swing from them. I'm too old to swing. My trunk is gone. You cannot climb. I'm too old to climb. I wish I could give you something, but I have nothing left to give. I'm just an old stump. I don't need very much. Just a quiet place to sit. Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest. He dies here, by the way. I don't know if you guys could tell. He's old and the wind starts to come in. He dies. Okay, these storyboards are rough. And I mean that in the fact that they're rough. They're basically a rough draft, they don't get revised into the script, which then go into full on animation. And yeah, it's very understandable if someone watches these and comes away be like, that was not very good. It's very understandable because I never really got to see the finished, product that had the refinements, the woodland critters, you if if they won't honestly, if they won't so if they won't woodland critters, you wouldn't have noticed they were there to begin with. I know that sounds like an odd way to face it, but like in the storyboards, they really don't really do much in comparison to the final animated scenes where they're a lot more prevalent, they're a lot more there, and have a lot more interesting things to say. Now let's kind of talk about how this fits as an adaptation. You can definitely tell that it's an adaptation of the Given Tree, but it's also an interesting one because I was also kind of trying to be respectful to Shel Silverstein in some ways because I initially wanted to show a bit more of the boy's personal life, but I realized that he kind of kept the boy a bit more ambiguous, to have a deeper interpretation. So I decided to hold off on that. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm really disappointed that nobody ever got to see the finished product because it really tiptoed that fine line, in my opinion, decently well. And it's such a shame that no one's ever going to see it, including me, because I can't go back and see it. And the original plan was just to pick it back up from the start, use the storyboards. We already got them, and I remember just animating it, and I couldn't do it, honestly. I just couldn't. I just had nothing left in me. So I was like, you know what? I got rid of the storyboards so that I could begin again with a new story of mine called The Void and the Sapling, which had the code name The Boy in the Tree. But the thing that I like about The Void and the Sapling is, it's still kind of loosely based off the Giving Tree, but it's allowed to be its own story that better fits what I can write, which that's what I really like. And I really hope that, you guys eventually get to see it. Hope you guys will see it. I'm just not sure when because I'm also busier in life because I'm in school now and I got a job too. And, it's hard to kind of balance all three of them out. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and yeah, I don't know, like and subscribe.